Shadwell Great House is reputed to be the oldest great house on St. Kitts. It served as the English governor's residence during its life and reflects the most significant political and social events of the island. This site remains important as it is thought to be the best example of a great house on the island. In 1962, Eric and Agnes Skerritt purchased the house and lived in it with their family until his death in 1994. Let's hear from Mrs. Agnes Skerritt and Lisa Skerritt.
My first question to you is, when was the Great House built?
1733 by Gilbert Fleming. He was the Lieutenant General of the Leeward Islands and the Governor of St. Kitts. He owned all of this land, and I think this property and the Stanhope were kind of thrown into the same parcel, and they owned 207 enslaved people. And so that's how I was able to get a lot of the information, because when slavery ended, the people who owned the property would give them money to give up their slaves. And they would give them over £3,000 in that money in those days, which would be equivalent to £500,000 in today's dollars.
Wow.
It was 207 slaves.
Got the money.
Yeah, and British people have been, including people of color, have been paying for this since then until 2014 it ended. So since that, I mean, the government had to borrow so much money to pay off these slave owners that it took them 200 years almost to pay it off. And people of color, people of African descent in England have been paying off without knowing it in their taxes till 2014. I made a couple of PowerPoint presentations. Actually, I can send them to you, and you can. I don't know what you do, the graphic stuff, if you want to put it in.
But
I made
perfect, yes.
one about the house in general, the history stuff, and then I made one relating to the enslaved people, and then I made one that was just a memorial for the enslaved people.
Wow.
Each slide is their name with their age.
And
what they did on the plantation.
Yeah, she has this on tape. She made a video.
Yeah, and it's chilling to watch it. So I made a PowerPoint so that the slides go from one to the other, and you just see the names come up, right? It's like, say their name, right? Say it, because they don't even have surnames. It's just the first name.
Somebody
right?
should contribute a screen to you to show it on you.
From from babies all the way up to people 100 years old. It's a chilling thing, and I think that this part of our history needs to be remembered. Our ancestors need to be remembered. Yeah. This is really important stuff. And if we don't remember, if we don't look for this history and find it, dig it up, and remember who they are, they'll just be gone like dust flying away in the wind.
I was talking to Carmen. I have a woman who comes and sits with me 2 days a week to do little things for me. And she worked with me for 25 years up here. I was honest enough with her, because we would give dinner parties on a Thursday night, every Thursday night. And I would have to go down to pick up Carmen to come up to serve my dinner. And I remember her children crying when she was leaving. And I'd go back earlier than that, earlier than my time. They had to get on the job, your cook had to be in the job at 6 o'clock in the morning to start getting breakfast. And she must have had children at home too. It was a form of slavery, but it was a form of residential slavery because you paid them a little bit of money. When I think of it, I'm ashamed of having been part of that system. Then until I got older cooks and I didn't have children to leave home.
Even though my father's father was a black man, so we come, we're of mixed race. So yeah, I mean, slavery was a terrible thing, and the legacy that is left in homes like this from it is something that needs to be healed, and that's what motivated me to want to restore it and turn it into something that can benefit the youth here, and by us doing cultural things, art and cultural things, and wellness, we heal that trauma, we heal that bad energy, and we're able to sort of change
so-
the karma